We're creating the course on how to get to your first 1,000,000 subscribers. You rebranded mentorship program. I like it. We're close to the soft launch.
I'm dreaming, oh, I believe in this dream I've been dreaming, oh, I'm dreaming, oh, I believe in this dream I've been dreaming, oh.
So I'm here with a friend of mine, Marion, who for the past, I don't know, past number of weeks, maybe months, has been pushing me to create a YouTube course to basically take all the knowledge that I have in my head about how to build a channel to 1,000,000+ subscribers. And I filmed it and we edited it and we're moving everything to ClickFunnels. And this is a part of me building a bigger brand, becoming a household name. And we're gonna have a chat today. He's gonna push me a little bit. But before getting into that, Marion, quick intro for my audience of who you are, what you're all about.
100%, man. First of all, thank you so much for having me here today. For everybody that is not familiar with me, my name is Marian. And for the past, I guess, 2 years, I could say, what I do now is way different than what I've been doing for the past 5 years, let's say. So what I do now is I focus a lot working with entrepreneurs, with thought leaders, helping them structure their offers and helping them acquire more high-end clients, helping them monetize their audiences, right? So oftentimes I work with people that don't have necessarily huge audiences, and then we kind of work both hands, kind of building their audiences and monetize their knowledge at the same time. And in situations like yours, whereas you already have an audience, we focus on how to, let's see what's the best product that we can come up with, what's the best offer that can serve the audience first. And then, of course, what's the best investment for that audience to feel that they can get the best value out of what they buy.
So I first connected with Marion, I think in February. I was on my tour. I was in San Jose at the time, and I just decided that I need to get on ClickFunnels. It's where I'm going to take my whole business, my whole website. We're still not there yet, but we're making our progress towards it. And I posted to my Instagram stories to say, I want to get on ClickFunnels. Anybody have any advice out there? And Marion DMs me back to say, hey man, I've sold $1,000,000 plus on ClickFunnels. I want to give you some advice. Let me know when we can talk. And I saw the DM come in and I'm like, how about right now?
We jump on the call like literally in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's get on Facebook and here we go. And that's the way I work. When I get an idea, I want to get it done ASAP. And I love that Marion works the same way. It wasn't like, yeah, and in 2 weeks, let's schedule a call. Man, 2 weeks might as well be next year for me, right? It's like, we got to get it going. So Marion has been super helpful because I know zero about ClickFunnels. And this is the first kind of digital course that I've sold. So we're creating the course on how to get to your first 1,000,000 subscribers. And I sat down, recorded all the content and 9 or 10 different modules where it's everything I know about how to build a YouTube channel, and then behind the scenes and me giving coaching calls and a bunch of other stuff that we're going to launch. When are we going to launch?
It's
I feel like we're close.
Really,
we've been close for like weeks.
It's really close. It's literally the last. So with you, it was a little different because you already have a huge audience, right? So some of the things are different than, let's say, if we literally, I was just on a call like an hour ago with a client that we're starting to do something similar next week, but they don't have the audience.
Okay.
So with you, it's a little bit different. Like things have to be a little more, polished and a little more, in place before we get it going. So with you, again, the process is in one way simpler, but at the same time, the expectations are way higher, right? So that's why, some of the times that we thought, okay, it's all ready to go, then we realized, okay, the thumbnails of some of the videos look a little awkward. So then, all right, now let's change them all and all that stuff, right? So there are like little things on the back end, but it's really close. We'll have like a soft launch pretty soon, most likely in a week from this interview, depending on what time you guys are going to watch. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So we are about a week away from the soft launch.
So I think a lot of people may not know what goes into making a course, and then we can break that down quickly. And then what do I need to do next? So the idea So I'm an expert on a bunch of things that we picked one topic of how to build a YouTube channel because people come to me and say, hey, I want to do what you do. I want to build my YouTube channel up. And a lot of people struggle to get their channels off the ground. And so it started with me mapping out what my course was going to be and then sitting down and making videos. And it was 2 days of basically shooting videos straight that then went to my editing team and we broke it down to modules. And then I go to Marion and say, hey, I've got this content. How do we turn this into a program that can make money and help people at the same time? I wanted to be on ClickFunnels. And he said, you're speaking my language. I got you covered. Here's what we're going to do. So he created a whole back end for us where people now, once they pay to sign up, and we're looking at a $1,000 ticket price, people get in, they get access to material.
For the soft launch, yes. For the soft launch, that's going to be, then we'll increase it as we add more value to it.
Wow. All right. Well, this is the high-end client acquisition man right here. I'm learning even new things, on the spot. So $1,000 for the soft launch. And then as we add more content, there's a private Facebook group where then we're going to be having regular series where I'm going to be doing lives, and there's a community you can join where people can then help each other out. A lot of this was based off of your suggestions. You're then saying, okay, I need a bonus and these kinds of things. And like, can you include other videos? And so what goes into making an ideal course that you?
So it's not really like, yeah, let's take a step backward and let's put the idea of the actual course aside, right? So it's all up to how can we come up with the best offer, not necessarily with the best. So the product itself, of course, is it's going to probably even add more and more stuff because every month you're going to do coaching calls and channel, breakdowns and all kinds of stuff. We already did four? I think 4 of them. It's already done. So that alone, it's a huge value. Like just me going through those coaching calls with other people in different industries, you learn so much, right? Like, of course, there'll be people that they don't want to be on camera or they don't want necessarily to be coached, but they'll watch. Like, I guarantee a lot of people will watch on the back end and just consume and see like, oh, if he's making that mistake, most likely I'm making that mistake and all that, right? So to answer your question, it's basically how can we come up with the best offer that people almost feel like it's a steal to pay $1,000. Because if you think like, what's the end result if people really implement everything that you talk about in this course is, of course, the end goal would be everybody to hit, close to 1 million subscribers. Of course, that's something that it takes a lot of work. It's not just going to be, all right, one thing and then people, will get 1 million subscribers. But the value that you bring in the course, it's not necessarily just about, it's not just about subscribers. I think in module 2, if I'm not wrong, you're talking about how to attach your business on your YouTube channel. So don't just create content for the sake of creating content. Create content that aligns with your business model. And then from there, use YouTube as your platform to get more traffic, get more organic traffic, because it all compounds, right? And you talk about this whole strategy of suggested views. All the courses that I got from other YouTube experts were specifically geared on search. When you if you remember at the beginning when you started to put the modules together, I asked you, didn't you want to add some search related videos in there? And you said no. The whole game, like the big game, is in suggested. Yeah. I'm like, oh crap! Like he doesn't want to add that search. Like I know that all the courses that I went through, but then I took a step back and I said, so let me understand the numbers. Like Evan has close to 2 million subscribers. Obviously, he knows why he's talking about that, right? So to go back to your question, it's mainly let's see what's the best offer that we can come up with. What are the bonuses? Like everybody loves bonuses. Doesn't matter what you sell, people love bonuses. In this scenario, we came up with the best bonuses that align with what you talk in the course, right? So we put together your Thought Leadership Academy workshop. So that alone, what's the price for that? $2,000 or $2,500?
It's going up. It's now $3,000.
$3,000. So
things just keep going up.
Yeah, but no, but previously people paid two 2,500.
2000.
Yeah, so somebody that maybe didn't have a chance, maybe didn't know about that offer, right? So you had the recordings for it. We put it together as a bonus in there. So now people can consume that other people paid $2,000. So they'll consume it as a bonus inside of the same course, right? So it's always, ideally, you want to come up pretty much with like 3 to 5 bonuses, depending, of course, like what's the price point for the course.
So we have videos from our Thought Leadership Academy.
Yes.
Which you suggested. And then you said you should do some channel breakdowns. And so then right away I lined up 4 different people. One of them is Marion, who I look at their channel and I do a half hour. I think yours is longer. I think we go for like an hour plus. But everybody else is half an hour, where I break down their channel and give advice, say, here's what you're doing right, here's what you're doing wrong, and fix it so that people can see themselves. And the plan is ongoing to then in the Facebook group, then take people live and help them, and then that becomes part of the course material that other people can learn from.
Yeah, so that it's keep adding up to more and more of those. And
then you said you need a workbook, so then we turned the content into a workbook that people can then fill out along the way. So it's not just video content, but you can follow along. Yeah,
and then so, just the access itself to the community, like you can like your audience is so big and you have so many different kind of entrepreneurs, like people from local business owners all the way to other thought leaders that or people that want to become thought leaders and want to grow on YouTube. So just the access to that community that you'll have in there, it's priceless, because people will start to see other wins and other mistakes that other people make, and it'll be like just a hub that it'll be so valuable, because everybody that got into that group paid at least the $1,000 for the soft launch, or double the price after it's all ready to go once we have the webinar. And at that point, like, you can imagine how valuable, like, let's assume 1,000 people join that group. Now it's 1,000 different mindsets that want the same end result, and they all paid this higher price point to get into the course, and now they all gonna network with each other. So at some point you may consider doing like a meetup, or maybe even create like virtual meetups in different cities. Like, let's assume it's 10 people from Boston, they join your group. Maybe at some point we want to do a meetup here, and you just jump on a Zoom call with everybody and say, like, all those things are so valuable. So I guess to go back to your question would be to come up with a great offer that all the bonuses are aligned with what you teach in the course. Oh, and then the other bonus, one that you didn't mention, is use YouTube to grow your other social platforms. So you did a masterclass just on that. Mm-hmm. That's also super powerful, because you can use YouTube to send people to your Instagram, to send people to your Facebook account, pages, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think YouTube should be the home. I just sent an email like right before getting on with you to a guy who's got 1 million plus on Instagram and a couple 100,000 on YouTube. It's like, you need to switch it. YouTube needs to be the home. It's the primary, and then you take the data and then you create better content for Instagram instead of flipping it. The people who take advantage of this, it's such a huge opportunity. Everybody has it wrong. Like, they're thinking Instagram and podcasts first, and they're losing. And the people who actually jump on this and go YouTube first, they're going to win so hard. Anyway, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped for it to come out. Okay, so for people that join the journey, and ideally it's yes, like, here's what Evan needs to do, but also for people watching, they get a sense of how to build an offer and how to launch, and follow me along this journey so they can learn along the process. So the past X number of weeks, I guess, has been building the back end, creating the click funnels. And through this process, Marion just says, Evan, I need this, I need this, I need this. Like, okay, yes, sir. Here we go. What else do you need? I need a logo, I need a cover, or I need banners. Like, okay, great, done. Next, you need a video. Awesome. We're about the soft launch. What does that mean, soft launch, for people?
So soft launch, yeah. So like a full, well, I hate to necessarily say it launch, because this will go on evergreen, right? Like, the end goal, it's an auto webinar, and that's just going to, sell forever.
What's an auto webinar? I didn't know what that was before talking to you.
Yeah, so auto webinar, like for example, let's assume you just put together a 1 hour presentation that you do it through Zoom, right? So you have some slides, put together the slides, you teach people basically the roadmap that you already created. And by the way, I want to mention a couple of things about that roadmap before the end. But you put together a presentation that you essentially teach people what's exactly in the, not what's in the course, but how, right? Like what's the how of the course. So, and also the why, right? Like you'll go through, you'll create the slides that are already sent to a template. You'll just plug in your information in there. And then at the end, we'll just present the offer that people, you know, can invest in to be part of this this course. This is not necessarily this course, because this is like a mentorship program, right? Like every month, people get access directly to you. They can ask you questions live. So this is not just a course. This is a mentorship program.
We should rebrand it. Mentorship program. I like that.
Because it's so much more than a course. It's not just something that you give a login and then you forget about it. Like you are, you know, you're going to be in the Facebook group. You're going to be live every month. People will ask you questions. You'll answer them. Like it's not just, even people that don't get a chance to join live, they'll still be able to, you know, see the questions and answers after that. So they'll get value that way. Mm-hmm. So auto webinar is essentially, once you do that presentation, you record it, and then you plug it into an auto webinar funnel. So auto webinar is just the live presentation, but it's recorded, and then you put it into a funnel. So people essentially put their name and email and sometimes phone number to get access to that presentation, right? And we can call it just a presentation. We can call it an online workshop. We can call it an online.
Right. But the way that you structure it is crazy. Like the amount of work that this guy's given me is insane. Because if it was just, hey, go talk for an hour about YouTube and then at the end talk about your course, I could do that. Like, let's go right now. I could do it right now. He's like, no, Evan. You got to follow this format of this like 100-page slide deck with. It's like, okay, I really gotta do my homework. So the point is, I mean, I'm in Marion's hands, trusting the process. So I'm following his process. So doing that is a ton of work for me that I want to get it right. So we're launching without that because I don't have it yet. If it was, hey, Evan, just talk for an hour on YouTube and then talk about the course and how good it is at the end, let's go. So it's not just like put together some sales presentation. Like there's science behind all of this that then you've shown that works for you and it's worked for other people as well, right?
Yeah. So it's the template itself. It's I didn't necessarily come up with that, right? So the whole perfect webinar type of structure, Russell Brunson kind of came up with this name, this topic of the perfect webinar, right? So of course it's a template, and it's almost like a formula to find like what type of story to say at the beginning, to how much you teach, right? Because so many times you may teach, if I would have just said, all right, Evan, just record record a 1 hour presentation, a 45-minute presentation, and then at the end talk for 15 minutes about the course, you may have just gone too deep into teaching. And then people would have said, oh, I think I got enough from the webinar, from the presentation itself. I don't need to buy. So that's why, and also at the same time, we don't want to teach too much of a surface, so people still get a lot of value at the end. And then once we move into the pitch towards the end, like people are eager to learn about like what's the offer. Like I want more. Like the way that the template is formatted is just, it creates, it makes people to be hungry for more, to get access to more of. That's why I almost think about it as, all right, for the first 45 minutes, teach the how, and then get into like what exactly is that. Let's see the whole kind of the strategy, and then the course is the tactics.
So one, I mean, I'm used to speaking and presenting, but the way that this is, I'm not used to PowerPoint, and this is very like PowerPoint slides focused. And I'm just trying to pull up. So I messaged Russell, who we were talking about, to say, hey, I'm launching my course. And now it's blanking out. But he basically wrote back to say, like, let me know how we can help. So if you see a path for Russell to help out with anything, let me know. It's not loading on my phone right now, but he knows what we're up to and what we're doing.
That's fire.
So that's the idea of an auto webinar, is that it lives forever, or at least
forever.
next X number of months, years. It's not something going to expire in a week that you have to redo. Now, I was reading through a little bit of his book, Expert Secrets, and what he was talking about in there as well was having a regular, like a new webinar every week, every month.
In terms of being live?
What's that?
In terms of being live, like the webinar to be live every week?
Yeah,
that's
so
what I mean?
not just for current students, which I'm going to do in the group every month, but actually for new customers.
So the auto webinar essentially will replace the need to do it live every kind of every week. Now, time to time, of course, like after, let's say, after we launch it with a webinar and, you know, a month or 2 months go by, like we'll have enough data to look at the numbers and see, all right, are we getting the numbers that we want? If not, let's see where, because we'll be able to track where people drop. Like we'll be able to watch on the back end and see where people drop during the webinar. Is it something that we can, like, what did you say over there? Maybe that we can reframe a little bit, right? So the reason that, like, that's why I said that in your scenario, it's a little bit different because you already have the audience, you already have the trust, like you have the authority. Even if some things are not specific, like to the T, people still trust you because of who you are and because of the value that you brought for so many years. So that's why I said for you, it's a little bit different. But in terms of having it live, like the whole auto thing, it'll replace the need of doing it live. Now, after 2 months, like I said, even after 1 month, we'll be able to look at the numbers and see how many people buy from it, how many people watch it, where people dropping out, how many sales we're getting on the follow-up sequence. Right? Like follow-up sequence, for people that may not be aware of what that means, is the emails that get sent after somebody watches the webinar, after somebody drops the webinar, after somebody maybe just signs up, but they don't join. Like all those things run on the back end, right? So if we see that we can do anything that we can improve it, then of course we'll redo that webinar. But essentially, it'll go in, even though it's auto, you know, after a month, we might need to re-record it and add another thing in there, right? Like maybe at some point this whole mentorship becomes a full high ticket if you wish. For example, if you decide, okay, I want to work with people in a more intimate setting, more of a, let's say you come up with a 10 or 20 people group for a 3-month thing where you actually coach them in that setting, then we'll do like a 5K offer and we'll just attach, they'll still be able to get the course, but they'll get more intimate support from you and Jeremy. Jeremy will be in the course as well, giving advice, right?
Right. So the idea long-term is this is auto webinar. It's me giving some value and then talking about buying the course. We send people to that page. They like it. They sign up. There's some follow-up sequence, eventually get into the course, and then they get the content and then also access to me and the ongoing support in the community.
Exactly.
But we don't have the auto webinar ready to go yet. And that's on me that I need to get through. And I'm going to work with Marion and creating it. But mostly it's on my end right now. I have to make the content. So what is a soft launch then? What are we doing for me? Because we're not launching with the auto webinar. That's full launch. What does soft launch look like?
Yeah, soft launches will basically make it available for people, right? It'll be available for the $1,000, which essentially is like half of the price that the whole thing will be priced once the whole launches. So people will get a great deal during the soft launch. So that's basically the soft launch. Like you'll make it available for people for the first kind of beta group. Like the first, I hate to say beta, it's more of a founders group. So people that actually found the actual community, and they'll be the first guys that actually will go through it. You'll get their feedback. Like people will say, hey, if we get 20 people that say, I don't understand what module 6 is about, I don't get that, maybe we'll add 3-4 more lessons in module 7 for people to understand better. Maybe, some of the things. So basically the soft launch is for the founders group, for the people that sign up for the first time. to give you feedback for the original, for the big launch, right? And the reason that I hate to say launch is not going to be just, you know, once or twice a year. Like, that's why I guess we still call it a launch, just to to know what's up. But essentially, we'll make it available for the whole public, so for everybody, like with all the ads and all the paid traffic, and, you know, all the kind of, that's what it is. Like, we'll go all in with, you know, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube ads, like all the power on the back end to launch it.
So is the soft launch without any paid traffic?
So it starts without the paid traffic at first. Now, again, it comes back to the fact that you already have such a huge audience, which means that we can still retarget. The full launch essentially goes towards the cold audience as well. The soft launch goes only to the warm audience, people that know you, your email list. We can retarget people. It's not necessarily without the paid ads. It's without the paid ads to a cold audience. That's what it is. Simplify. Yeah. It only goes to your warm audience. Email subscribers, YouTube subscribers. Like, if you, let's say, for a week, I know you're doing a video a day. So let's say for a week, every day you talk about a module, you just give like the big picture of each module. So your subscribers will find out about the fact that you have a YouTube course that's available for them, just for the subscribers, right? Email subscribers and all that. So that's what it is. Soft launch versus big launch. Soft launch will go just towards the warm audience. The big one will go towards the cold as well.
And before going to the cold audience, we want to have a auto webinar that is working.
Correct. So basically, not necessarily just the auto webinar itself. We also need a little feedback from the founders group, right? So people will start giving us feedback. Once, you know, let's say we get 20, 30 people in it. At that point, like after 20, 30 people in the course, based on their feedback and based on the slides being ready to go, we're able to go with the big launch.
And is that what we're looking for? Like 20 to 30 people? Is that how we want to market it? Or?
Yeah, 20 to 30, it's exactly what we need for this. Now, if we get 40 to 50, there's not a problem.
Right.
It's just, that's kind of necessary, right? 10 is too, it's not a lot, it's not enough. From 20 and up, it's perfect, because then we get, you know, different people, different industries, different mindsets. And we just want to see where people feel that they need maybe more, you know, more support, or more, maybe like an extra couple lessons in a module or something like that, right?
Okay, I like it. Now, let's talk about the marketing of it for the soft launch. I think email newsletter is easy. I think within my within my Instagram, I can easily create, you know, like a weekly post on it, and I could talk about it in my stories.
Yeah, swipe opt-in for your followers. That's perfect. We'll go straight to the funnel. And we'll make sure in each swipe up, you'll mention the fact that it's 50% off. They'll be able to see the deadline that soft launch is going to be, you know, over.
Right. So that's organic, and that's relatively straightforward. If I looked at YouTube, so if I did it, the way YouTube algorithm works, if I did a video on this on my YouTube channel, it would tank. Right? Like, I mean, it would go to my core audience, I guess, but it wouldn't hit everybody, not even close. So, I mean, I'm open to it. It's just not going to get, big numbers, because
we don't even need, that's why we don't need big numbers.
Okay.
That's why we don't need, and again, when I said that you, it's, you know, it's basically all testing, right? So we'll see, all right, if for any reason, let's say, those YouTube videos affect your channel or something like that, you can always, you know, make them private or something like that. And then we can use, because you have such a huge audience, we can actually create some soft YouTube ads just using retargeting. So we can just retarget, we'll do an ad, a video ad with you, and we'll retarget like people that watched videos on your channel. Let's assume now, out of my head, without even looking at, if you have videos on your YouTube channel, specifically talking about YouTube, like
Mm-hmm.
we can just retarget people that watch that. Now, if you don't have that, let's assume we look at some of your competitors, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
that's more towards the big launch, because we can look at who's ranking number 1 and number 2 for how to grow your YouTube channel. So now, from top of my head, it can be Sunny Lenarduzzi, it can be Shen Cannell, it can be like all other people that talk about this, similar strategies.
Yeah.
And we just do an ad, boom, targeting their videos, and boom, that's it. That's number 1. Number 2, also video YouTube ads on keywords. Literally, I can even look right now. How to grow your YouTube channel has like tens of thousands of searches a month.
Right.
That alone, boom, it'll just.
Could you match that, like how to grow my YouTube channel, with people who are subscribers to my channel?
Oh yeah, we can make an audience. 100%.
So, I mean, I'm open to doing a YouTube video and saying, hey, I got this course. It just is only going to hit a tiny percentage of my audience. But if we ran pre-roll against my audience, you're guaranteed to get in front of them.
That's
right?
Another thing. We can also run in-stream ads on your channel. And of course, it makes such a...
YouTube. Or Instagram, both, I guess.
No, but in-stream ad, in-stream ads.
In-stream, I heard Instagram ads. In-stream ads on my YouTube.
In-stream ads on your YouTube channel, because it's your videos, it's your content, it are your subscribers, and boom, we just do a quick, in-stream ad in there, and you just talk about that, and we send them to the
Okay.
soft launch. So yeah, I mean, there are like tons of ways, and because this is about YouTube, the best results, I can almost see it now, the best results that we'll get once we do the big launch, it'll be with YouTube ads, because it's YouTube talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
From a huge YouTuber. Boom.
Yeah. Well, and people who are in my audience, right? I mean, people who, they know who I am. It's not some cold person. Although I think, I mean, most, maybe not most, I don't know. I don't know how much of a, I might have a little bit too big of a head. I would think like most people who are in the YouTube space would recognize me, or recognize, if they weren't subscribers, they would probably recognize me somewhere.
And again, we can, I guess the best results that we'll see will be from people searching, like search. I know, in your course you talk about suggested because it's about organic, but from a paid perspective, from a paid ad perspective, people that are searching about, like they're searching on YouTube about how to grow my YouTube channel. Yeah. And all of a sudden that phrase alone can have like 10 to 20 to 100 variations of YouTube channel growth, channel growth strategies, and all that stuff. So we put them all together into a bucket, and we tell YouTube and to be subscribed to Evans' channel or channels. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, like people, I'm searching about this and I'm subscribed to him. Boom, like it's a no-brainer.
Do you find better results going right to the sale, in that like, hey guys, I've got this course, I'm looking for the soft launch, how to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers, 50% off right now, go sign up here, or is it a value video that then we retarget with?
Value building video will always win. The reason that the soft launch will still work, because we only need 20 people to get in the course to actually give us some feedback. Of course, the value building video will win all the time, because when they are on YouTube, they're usually searching for information. So if they type on the search bar how to grow on YouTube, they're not necessarily looking to purchase something right at that time. So if we get them to watch a 45-minute class from you, even if they didn't buy then, we now have their email, we have their, we'll have their messenger bot subscription. So all that will go into almost like a...
And the 45-minute video is the...
Webinar.
Okay, so the YouTube ad would be, come watch this free video on this page where I talk about, not trying to have a 45-minute ad that then we retarget anybody who's hit like 5 minutes plus.
So, no, that's a good question. Even in the video itself, you'll give them some tips about this. And then at the end, let's say it's going to be like a 5-minute video, for example, right? So in that 5-minute video, you'll be talking about something like this. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 powerful tips that you can use right now to grow your YouTube channel. And so tip number 1, and you talk about it. Tip number 2, tip number 3. And by the way, guys, I know in 5 minutes, I can only share with you guys so much. So that's why I invite you. I put together this 45-minute class. It's a free online workshop. Click the link below and watch it. Can't wait to see you there. Boom.
Got it.
So now they got 2 types of value. People that only need 5-minute worth of, 5-minute worth of value.
Yeah.
And the rest of people, it'll be, and again, people that hit skip, you're not even charged for this. So that's why YouTube ads are like insane.
Right. And in that video, I'm just talking to the camera, or it's a PowerPoint as well?
No, that one is just you on the camera, and and again,
I'll crush that one. That's easy.
But so that's a good thing. We don't want to take you out of your game. So if you are great on this type of setting, I think the best way, even for that webinar, will be for you to have like a big screen next to you. And if you just like the way that you move in front of the camera, we can have the big screen next to you. Like in the last couple webinars that I've seen from Russell, he actually had behind him a huge monitor that he had the webinar, the slides, and time to time, the screen will go towards like full screen on the slide, and then it'll zoom out and you can see him as well. So that's also
for me. When I give a keynote, there's one slide on the screen. I just don't speak to slides. It's not how I usually do it, but it's okay. Like, this is great. This is why Marian's here. He's saying, hey, follow this. At least as the first one, we'll follow the structure. Here's the PowerPoint, follow this, talk about these points, and then awesome. And then we can test, like, hey, let me freestyle for an hour and see how it goes and run them against each other and see which one does better.
I was just about to say that. Like, then we'll also have a mini version of it. So I also have the mini version, which is like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
For the same type of, that's something pretty new. It's not a lot of people that are actually using this. So that's what it's called. It's called the mini perfect webinar.
Okay.
Or the perfect mini webinar, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's essentially a smaller version of it, and we'll just split test both of them, and we'll see. And then we'll probably split test all 3 of them. The one that you'll be on camera and you'll talk and you explain. Like, the numbers will never lie.
Yeah.
Like, I can sit all day and say, no, the perfect webinar will be good, or the mini webinar will be even better. And then you come on camera and you crush it, and you'll,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for everybody listening, that's the benefit of working with somebody who has best practices to learn from, right? I mean, if I just went and tried to do everything myself, I'd have my style, my way of doing it, but I'd probably make 1,000 mistakes along the way. And so working with a guy like Marion just, shortcuts you to get there a lot faster. Okay, great. So we're close to the soft launch.
Yeah.
I know. So Nina, my wife, is also, running point on anything.
Shout out to Nina. She's like, every time when I send her an email, boom, next day is like right there.
Got it. And I know we're using some of my team for graphic work and some other stuff. And so Nina coordinates everything. I'm not really in the loop on what's happening unless I'm needed for something. Yeah. So to soft launch it, I mean, it sounds like within a week, we're going to have it up on my site, and people will go and check it out and be able to get our first 20 to 30 founding members. What do you need from me? Nina will take care of Nina and my team, but what do you need from me to make that happen?
So as we get closer, we'll basically need to make sure that we'll have a couple emails being sent to your list. In terms, I don't know if that's going to be you personally or somebody in your team that will send the emails and things like that. Of course, we'll have you for the swipe up thing, so we'll have that part, and then we'll also need probably the last things I think that we're missing will be just the welcome video in the group, walking people like literally step by step how to sign up, how to get access to the Facebook group, so that's outside of the introduction of the course, which is the first lesson. The welcome video is mainly, all right, this is how you scroll to the course. This is what you this is how you download your workbook. This is how you get access to our Facebook group. This is how you request support when you need it. This is how you sign up for our monthly coaching calls. This is where you will see the monthly coaching calls. So just to avoid almost any type of, oh, I don't know where to find this and that.
So that's me on camera, but then there's also like a screen recording or something, right?
Yeah, screen recording, mainly screen recording of you explaining. Because, so for example, one thing that I've noticed a couple of times with different courses, where like on desktop, when you have a course on ClickFunnels, or the lessons are on the left side, on mobile are just, it's vertical, but you have to scroll all the way down to watch the lesson. So you click on that, you click on the lesson, but then you just have to scroll one time. So if you don't do it, I've had some people email me back, say, what is the lesson? I don't find it. And then I screenshot it and send it to them. So I said, okay, now I'm going to record a share screen of me explaining on mobile. You're going to find it here. You just want to give everything to be easy to consume to people.
What is your best-selling course?
So my best-selling course was, my first business was in the moving and storage industry. So that was something that I did right after that. It was literally, the course was not even created. And I literally soft launched it without having more than 3 lessons in it. So when I said at the beginning that your strategy was a little bit different, the reason that I said, okay, we'll actually create the course before is because you had the audience. I had like 0, nobody knew me. So I had to just try to see what the sales message will be to see if people actually relate to it. What I do now, I don't have a course on how to do this yet. I'm literally just case study. I'm recording case studies every time as we go.
This is going to be the course. This is going to be the Marion course on how to launch a successful course.
Yeah, so no, this is because I wanted to put together different industries. So this is something in the thought leadership part. We have a case study on health coaching. I have myself on my first course on doing that, and then pretty much we'll sum it up together, and we'll
cool. Now you said you wanted to talk about the roadmap.
Yeah, so a lot of course creators kind of, not necessarily that they fail, the audience drops or the audience doesn't seem to get the results that they want. So people will invest, $500, $1,000, $2,000 in a course and they don't get the results. It's not necessarily that the course is not great. Mm-hmm. People just need leadership, and that map just makes people understand where they are. Like, okay, I consumed this and I implemented this, and I know that I'm done with this part. So it's a simple 9-step process. I think it's 9, right? Yes. Where they just need to follow and identify where they are in their YouTube growth journey. So I think the map is usually the thing that's missing from a lot of course creators.
Yeah, so this is something that Marion was on me, I think, from the start of all this. He saw the materials, like, I need a roadmap. Like, what's a roadmap?
Yeah, and then I sent you a screenshot of one of mine.
It's a graphic. It's a 1-page graphic that shows all the 9 modules and say, like, step 1 is here, and then you link them all together, and then like you're done at the end, just so that people, I don't know what they're going to do with it, whether it's like it's in our workbook, but it's also just a separate download so they can look and see, okay, I'm here and I'm here and then I'm here. And that helps keep people.
It's just a visual thing. It's not just the course itself. It's a visualization of, all right, I'm right here. Yeah. It's so much easier to identify where they are. And when they miss something, it's just, I literally, in my first course, I was telling people, download this and have it on your phone. And every time when you struggle with your sales follow-up, with your scripts, or when you don't know what to say over the phone, just grab that map and understand which module you need to watch to get that thing fixed. I literally told people, make sure you screenshot that and you have it on your phone. Every time when your salespeople fail, like in that industry, it's a lot of phone calls to sell, not necessarily high ticket, anywhere from 500 to 2K, whatever. So a lot of people will say, oh crap, I didn't follow up enough. All right, cool. Just grab the map, look where the sales module is, or where in the map is that. Picture it, go to the module, see exactly what you're missing, download it, and get it implemented.
Cool.
That's
All
why
right.
I think the map is just something that a lot of course creators are missing, and that would not necessarily increase sales, because I mean you can use it for a sales message as well, especially in the webinar. Like we'll have this in the webinar for sure.
Right.
But in order for people to get awesome results, like you don't want refunds, you don't want people to not get results, you don't want people that, you know, that's the map. It just makes things simpler.
Yeah, I like it. And it was the first thing that Marion said to do. As soon as you saw the material, where's the roadmap? Like, all right, we'll make it. No problem. That's why you hire Marion. Cool. We'll let people follow along the journey. This is exciting. This is pre-soft launch. The idea is to have this as a regular series where every month kind of check in and see where we're at and give some more advice to people. So the next time we check in, we'll have soft launched.
100%.
This is very exciting.
Can't
Okay,
wait.
Marion, if people want to find you, where are they going?
On my YouTube channel, obviously. Marion Villassano is just my name. I do need to mention that if somebody searches for my name, like Marian, M-A-R-I-N, Villassano, they'll find two, because I have two, my native language channel and then my English one. English is obviously the focus on, but I do have one in my native language because I do have an audience there too. And I also have a podcast, Client Acquisition, the same thing that it's in here on iTunes, Spotify, all over the place. And I think it's enough. We don't want to send people to too many places.
Cool. We'll link up the English version of the channel in the description to make it easy for people to go click on.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. Let's do this.
Thanks. We'll talk in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Marion.
Thanks.
Cheers. If you want to see another ClickFunnels expert, Armando, tell me why websites are dead and I should go all in on ClickFunnels, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.